Welcome, everybody. I am Michael Stevens, aka Flake of Wrath, and today we have with us a friend that was with me when I was over on Lazarus. He is a professional PUBG player now, not with Lazarus, but with TSM FTX. A really good dude, and their PUBG team has been phenomenal across the board. You can see from the marquee I added just for him. Welcome, PurdyKurty. So everybody, please welcome PurdyKurty. Purdy, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem, buddy. AKA Kurtis Bond. I wanted to make a James Bond joke here as Bond, Kurtis Bond. Yeah, I'm sure you got that your entire life, didn't you, brother?
I do.
But yeah, professional PUBG player for TSM now. I met him when he was with us in Lazarus, and then, but I will say, you guys have a heck of a following with STK, man. I will say it's probably the biggest following I've seen from a non-organizational team, if you will. The STK fans are hard ride and die. You guys have really done some work there with that team.
Yeah. We've had a long time to grow that fan base. We've had a long time unsigned with some good results, and we got a lot of diehards along the way.
Yeah, talk about some amazing things that you've done with, as STK, as Lazarus, as TSM. Some of the achievements over the years, these are not in any particular order, but you will see some highlights from this one, at least, the PCS4 North America Group Stage winners. They came unglued on the final day to take the crown on that one. You guys won by like 3 points overall, right? Or
yeah, it was very, very close at the end.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact points, but
and you guys won the last, I think it was 3 games out of the 6 to take that one home, which was me and my wife came unglued on that one. But 5th in the PCS4 in Americas, that was the most recent one, and you guys have one coming up this weekend. First in the ESL PUBG Masters America phase, which again you dominated, but that was as shoot to kill. That's what got you guys with TSM. But you guys absolutely. To be honest with you, I don't even know if any other teams showed up to that one. 11th in global invitational as STK. Now that one was huge. You might hear 11th and think 11th. Why is that an achievement? But that was a big deal. I mean, that's a global stage, man. So hats off on that one. A lot of people might say,
"Thank you."
11th's not an achievement. That one's an achievement.
No, I'm with them on that one, but yeah.
First in PUBG CS 1 as shoot to kill. Second in PUBG League, which that was an amazing event and awesome to watch you guys on that stage. I really hope they bring some iteration back of that at some point. But yeah, PUBG League was pretty cool to watch. And then second, the Face It Global Summit as shoot to kill. And some of the orgs that you've repped over the years, there's been quite a few of them. TSM FTX, which is your current one, which is just to give everybody an idea, if you're not up with esports organizations, that's top tier. Purdy's up here. We're at the bottom of the food chain here, but Purdy's found his way to the top. Shoot to kill, which again, man, congratulations on what you've done with that team and built that up.
Thank you.
Lazarus, I didn't know you were part of Dignitas.
Yeah, it was a brief stint. It was only for maybe about 5 months or so.
Okay.
And then they moved away from PUBG, but yeah.
And they were back this year, correct?
Yeah, they actually just rejoined around the same time as TSM.
Yeah, got you. Nova Esports, which I'm not certain I know that one, and then Team Totality, which I do know that one as well.
Yeah.
So how long has your run with PUBG been? It's been what, 4 years?
Yeah, it's been about 4.5 years almost of competitively / playing professionally for PUBG now.
And I'm assuming you jumped on board once this game came right out.
Yeah, just about. I got into a competitive probably about 3 months after release, 2 months after initial release of the game.
Okay. Why PUBG? Why not any other BR? That's my question. Like for me, PUBG, when it first came out, it was very clunky. To feeling anyway to me, but I was always used to like H1Z1 or of course I was professional in Fortnite when you guys joined in Lazarus, but I was just like, why PUBG? Explain why did it attract you?
I didn't mean to make a career out of it, to be honest. So I played it just because it was fun. Like, it was one of those times where when PUBG came out, it was like the new and exciting thing. There was nothing quite like it at the time. There was no Fortnite or Apex or anything at the time. And it's just kind of what I just literally fell into. And then I've been stuck in it since.
You're like, hey, I'm decent at this. Let's continue to ride it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Has any other games tickled your fancy over the last 4 years?
There definitely has been a few. Like I liked Apex quite a bit, and then there's just been other games that are not so competitive.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm so drawn and stuck in PUBG that I don't have the time to commit to other games as much as I'd like.
I hear that, brother. Between the
Yeah.
scrims and, getting ready or, basically getting your game to where it needs to be, you really don't have much time to de-stress or, play other games unless you
No.
might have like 30 minutes of downtime. But then you're trying to find some sleep.
Yeah.
Your schedule's a little crazy. So how
Yeah.
we talked about this briefly before we brought you on the show, but how did the pandemic impact you, both team wise, yourself, family wise, competitive wise? What did it look like for you the last year and a half?
Um, as far as like my personal life with COVID and the pandemic and everything like that, it hasn't affected me too much because I'm a hermit crab.
Yeah, me
I
too.
spend all my time just in front of a computer screen, or just basically, my girlfriend has a kid, so it's either I'm spending time with her and the kid, or I'm in front of a computer screen.
Okay.
So it hasn't affected me too much. But as far as like the professional gaming scene, it's affected us in terms of LAN events, which are like locally hosted in-person events.
Correct.
We don't have those, and that hurts a lot of things like sponsors and some viewership and stuff like that. But other than that, it hasn't hurt too much. I get to play video games from the comfort of my own home, so I can't
Right.
complain.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say over the last year and a half with me. My job wasn't too impacted, being the weatherman in the morning. Everybody needs the weather, so. But
Yeah.
going to work and then coming home, basically tied to, I'd see my wife during the day, and then at night I was free to game even more so than I was before. So I was just like, okay, it hasn't changed much. But
Yeah.
yeah, you are exactly 100% correct when it comes to lands and sponsorships and competitions. Obviously, you can't be in the same room, or in the same arena, even the same city anymore. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different when it came to that. So you've probably found yourself playing competitions more from private servers, I'd assume,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
rather than playing in a building with their own servers there. What
Mhm.
game got you in? What did gaming start? Where did it start for you? Where did the gaming start for you? What game really got you into video games in general?
The earliest I can remember was probably playing some form of Nintendo, one of the old ones, like
NES,
super
Super
old,
Nintendo?
probably. It's probably Super Nintendo at my cousin's house. And then the next memory I have is my dad getting me an Xbox, the original Xbox when it was
Yep.
first coming out with Halo.
Halo,
I
yeah.
remember I remember him popping the trunk to his car when I was playing in the street with my friends, and I was just having a nervous breakdown of joy when he popped the trunk and I saw the Xbox and like the gold Halo edition box, and
Woo!
it was a wrap from then. It was just a rabbit hole of gaming from then.
I will say my cousins introduced me to Halo. We'd go to family Christmas, and they had the Xbox. I didn't have an Xbox. I actually never owned an original Xbox, and I am actually an
Mm.
Xbox kid now. But the funny thing was I was a PS2 kid, but they had
Mm.
Xbox and they had Halo, and they introduced me to Halo, and I was like, oh, I understand this now. And when I got the 360, they made it games backwards compatible, and that's when online gaming took off for me. Was my sophomore year of
Mm.
college, and that's when 360 came out, and that's when I was open to internet, because here in northern Michigan, where I'm at, still to this day, 5 miles down the road, they don't have internet. They don't have high speed internet.
Mm.
So
Damn.
yeah, back as a kid, we had dial up. I can still hear that modem ringing in my nightmares.
Yeah. If a
Um,
phone call comes in, you're
yeah,
cut off.
yeah, dude. So online gaming wasn't an option, but when I was at school, yeah, it was Halo 2, eventually Halo 3, and then
Mm.
Modern Warfare came out my senior year, and it was like, yeah, game over. And that's what
Yeah.
kind of got me in the bite for competitive, or game battles came out the year after with World at War, and I was like, yep, I'm forever lost in this. What's after? Or I gotta ask this first. How did your parents react to competitive gaming? And obviously you're 27.
Yeah, I'm 27 now. Yeah.
So they probably not a huge impact as you're already out of the house. But how did your parents react to competitive gaming and like making a living off it? And what are their thoughts now compared to when you
Well,
first started?
yeah. Well, when I first like told my dad like, "Hey, because I was raised by a single dad my whole life since I was like 3.
Okay.
And he's been, super supportive over anything. But yeah, so I was 23 at the time, and I was actually still living with my dad. I've had a long history of back surgeries to where he had to basically
Right.
take care of me to where I was, bedridden for years in my high school years.
Mm-hmm.
So he sacrificed so much to do everything he could for me. But when I finally, recovered and grew out of it a bit and was getting on my feet and working and all that, and finally getting, progressive to start my own life. And then I started gaming like as a profession. He was very supportive still. He was just like, listen, you've been doing this no matter if you've been working or if you've been schooling, whatever it is, you've still been playing video games for like 8 hours a day. So if you can make money off of it and doing something you love, then go for it. Do your thing. I'm happy for you. I'm happy it's actually come to something. So he was very, very supportive of me.
Amen, brother. And that's what I'm trying to get across here with this sequence of things that I'm doing with esports. Work is letting me run with it, and what I really want to do is bring and show parents across northern Michigan, because here gaming is still kind of seen as a negative. They don't know the opportunities that it presents to kids with game design or just design in general, graphic design, and esports, and a lot of colleges now picking up, high schools picking up. There's so much opportunity under the umbrella of video games now. And that is awesome that your dad supported that and continues to support that. That's awesome. What's after esports? Have you thought about that? I mean, I'm not trying to force you out here, PurdyKurty.
No.
But listen, man, I'm 35 now, and when I was a Fortnite pro, I was 32, and there was 16-year-old Aiden cranking 90s on me, brother. All right, so we gotta start thinking. Your reaction time's gonna get a little slow here. So what's after esports?
It already is a little slow. I'd like to always be working in the esports community one way or another, whether it be game, like playing, managing, content creation, streaming. I'd always like to be involved one way or another, just because it's such a good community, and if you put the time in, it'll always give back to you one way or another, and it's just something I already have my feet in, so I'd like to stay in it personally.
Yep, I agree 100% with you, and that's what I said when I kind of stepped or hung up my controller, if you will, to Fortnite. Lazarus said, "Hey, you want to be a manager and help recruit and do this stuff?" I was like, "Yeah," and it opened up a different world. Once you see a lot of the managerial or the background of esports, you kind of get a new found respect for the whole business in general. The analytics is what I kind of did in Lazarus with Twitch and Twitter and all the socials, and giving the numbers to the right people when they need the numbers on a monthly basis. And it's a wild venture, and you'll definitely be impressed. But I know you guys have had a long string when you were shoot to kill with coaches, and I believe it's Machine Gunner now that is your coach.
Yeah.
And you guys had prior to that with shoot to kill, it was Adam's brother.
Yeah, it was Dids, Coach Dids.
Yeah, Coach Dids, and he went to FaZe briefly, correct?
He went to TSM first, actually. When we were on Lazarus, he left us for TSM.
Yep.
And he's been with FaZe now for quite a while. Maybe
I think it was 2-3 years, right?
He's been with FaZe for at least a year and a half, I think, at this point.
Year and a half? Okay.
I think he joined them after Worlds when he was on TSM.
And Adam's part of Gas Cans.
Yeah, Adam is competing. He went to PUBG Mobile for a while as a coach, and then came back to compete for PUBG PC.
Gotcha. Yep. Let's see what else we got here. We got a few more questions before my time is up with you. But if you guys are just joining in, I'm joined by PurdyKurty. He is a professional PUBG player for TSM FTX. I would say he's a friend of mine. He is a friend, but I actually never got to really talk to Purdy when he was over with Lazarus. He was always a very busy man. You guys were in LA, which was, I was like, man, you guys got the dream spot, brother.
Oh yeah, we had it made out there for sure.
I mean, I will say the house had some issues, but that's neither here nor there. But we'll talk about what is some of the wisdom or info that, if you could relay it back to kids now that are looking to get into some of the esports or some of the professional aspects of it. What info do you have for them down the road? Because I know a lot of kids nowadays, they pick up Fortnite and realize, hey, I might be able to do this, or, even Rocket League or any of these games. What information do you have for, or some wisdom, if you will, for some of these kids?
The best, it seems simpler than it is, but the best piece of advice I can give, because when I was younger, I always thought I loved playing games, but I didn't think I would be good enough maybe to compete. my best advice is just as soon as you can, as soon as there's any opportunity to compete against anybody else in any way, is just jump in and compete. Whether it's for free, whether it's for bragging rights, whether it's for $5, just start competing at some level. And if you stick to it and grind it out, it will escalate to something worth something.
Right. And I mean, that is literally the best thing that, or best wisdom, I will say, that you can get from Purdy is literally just stick to your guns. If there's a niche that you are really good at, like for me in Fortnite, when turbo building became a thing, I can't do that to save my life. Like I call myself the ground warrior. I'll edit at the bottom and I'll do whatever to do, but I'll find some way of getting that guy down and taking him out. But everybody wants to crank 90s and build real high. For you, when I watch PUBG, you are the captain. You are the guy with the eyeballs looking for the sneaky ways around, or looking for the flank and finding the right spot at the right time. And that's something that, not everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to be Luke. They want to run and gun, or they want to be that sharpshooter,
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not always in the cards.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing, is stick to what you do best, and it will probably come out in the at the end is a better long run result. How do you feel about the state of PUBG and esports? I know it seemed kind of dire for a little bit. To be honest with you, what they've done recently with bringing PUBG back, it feels like there's a kind of a new love or feel to PUBG with esports right now. I feel like they're putting way more backing into it right now than they had in the last year and a half or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the PUBG esports scene in general, especially in North America, they've been doing a great job. We have Everett Coleman as the head of PUBG esports for North America, and I couldn't say enough good things about him. He replaced Alex Penn a couple years ago, and he has been grinding and working his butt off to give us a great environment to shine in. Okay. And all respect to him, because he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch, and I feel like they've done amazing work with what they've been able to do over the last year. And to be honest with you, I think PUBG's casters are second to none. Like Toffees and those guys, like they're so good at what they do. You just don't find that, very often in a lot of esports broadcasts. I mean, there's some good, don't get me wrong, there's some good broadcasters, but PUBG, I feel like they know what they're doing so well. And they've been there forever. I mean, they've been with you guys since the beginning for the most part.
Yeah, they're very everybody from PUBG is all mostly grassroots. Like they've been here since the start, like you've said. They're either former players, or they just fell in love with the game and then fell into casting it.
Right.
But yeah, they're all very very PUBG friendly.
Yeah, which I love to see, and is a lot of fun to really immerse yourself in. Like I said before, for some reason I'll play PUBG every now and then, but I just find it so much more fun to watch, especially when you got people like Purdy running around and just wiping the map. What is TSM life like, man? I have to ask, because with me being Fortnite, Myth is over on TSM, brother. Like that was the big org for a while. And they still are. They're top tier. What's the TSM life like?
So far it's been really good. We've only played one event for them, and it hasn't been a LAN yet.
Right.
So it's a slow process. Starting to get integrated into the company and getting all of the perks, whether it be all of their intelligence regarding the scene or anything like that, or their sponsors, whatever it is. But so far it's been great. They've been good to us, getting us hooked up with all new Logitech gear. So I've got a bunch of new stuff to use. It's great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, overall it's been really good.
Great, brother. Glad to hear it. If you're joining us now, we're joined by Purdy. Or PurdyKurty. I reversed it. It's been a long day. It's fine. But he's a pro PUBG player for TSM FTX. And below me, you got some of his highlights from the PS4 group section, where they the group stage where they won the last 3 games to take home the crown. And this essentially solidified your deal with TSM. Or no, yeah, that was the one that did the TSM, right? No, you guys were already.
That was our debut.
Yeah. It was prior to that they dominated to get into talks with everybody and their mom. All right, so I got a little segment here that I want to run by you and see how this goes. This is called Describe Your Setup, okay? Whether it's your ideal setup or what you currently have, what does your setup consist of right now, and what do you want it to look like in the future? All right, so we'll first start off with a mouse, all right? That is like the bread and butter. The mouse and keyboard is the most important thing on your desk right now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what are you using for a mouse?
Now this is gonna seem like a real sellout, but I promise you it isn't. But my mouse is the G Pro Superlight from Logitech,
Okay.
and it is the best mouse that you can get. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Okay.
wireless. It's super light. It's just a great mouse all around.
See, I'm more the G502 Lightspeed. I like having my buttons on the side, a little extra button for the trigger thumb here, man. It really comes in handy with Tarkov. Let me tell you, when I need it. But yeah, I'm a Logitech guy in general. When a lot of people in the scene use Logitech, but mice wise, Logitech's way. I used I'm showing it to the camera right now, but the G502 Lightspeed wireless, I like it. Keyboard. You got what do you got for Logitech on that?
Yeah, I got the Logitech Pro gaming keyboard.
Yeah, I have the G Pro.
I'm good to go all around.
I like the small compact form factor. What are you using for a monitor?
Monitor. Right now I think I'm actually using a Zowie monitor. I forget the exact make, but it was the ones we used at PGI, and rumored to be using sort of the same type of stuff in the next one. So my goal is to practice what I play on, or what I will be playing on in those type of events. So yeah, I'm going with that one for now.
That makes a huge difference. A lot of people might not understand that, but it's the same thing with a more traditional sport. If you're going to practice with that gear and get comfortable with it, obviously, why wouldn't you do the same thing for? We're creatures of habit. You want something that you're going to be using, and I made that mistake when we went to Fortnite in Seattle for the first event. They had Alienware stuff. I don't have any Alienware stuff. So the monitor was very different, and they ran all the game on high or ultra settings. So everything was a little bit different. We didn't have the frames. I was like, what's going on? But I rocked the BenQ 240 hertz 1080p because, you don't need anything more than 1080 in my personal opinion. But
no, I'm with you.
What do you run with a rig? Obviously, with the PC, you kind of customize it to yourself. But what do you got in your PC?
Right now I've got a 2080 in my PC setup, and I think a 9900K.
Yeah.
But I should have a new PC from our sponsors soon, from Lenovo, from TSM. Ooh. So I'll be getting a new 30 series sometime soon here.
3080, 3090?
Maybe.
I've been trying for so long to get one of those. I did happen to stumble upon an 11900K on accident.
On accident?
Yeah, on accident, because it was like in stock, and it was like, well, I was redoing my gaming PC for cooling and fan wise, and the 11900K was just sitting there in stock, and I was like, oh, hey, look at that.
Might as well.
Yeah. So it ended up being more of a big thing than a little thing, as a case usually would be. Is there anything else with, or you're using Logitech G Pro headphones, correct?
Yep, all around Logitech.
Yep, that's what I am rocking here as well. But yeah, dude, that's now if you could change anything out, what would you, probably on the PC side mainly, I would assume. But what would your dream setup look like if there isn't anything that you don't already have?
Yeah, once I get that new Lenovo PC, and I'm good to go, to be honest. I don't really need anything. I'm a super easygoing guy when it comes to my setup. I'm not too particular. As long as I got my normal, my Logitech gear here,
right?
Doesn't really matter too much else.
Nice. Yeah, that's essentially. I'm the same way. As long as I can get my frames and I'm not lagging everywhere, I think you're good to go. So all right, now we're gonna play a quick game. We played this with Charlie when we had him on the other day, and we're gonna play it with you. This is rapid fire questions. All right, nothing out of the crazy wild or anything like that, but. This is just simply 10 questions. I say a minute, but we know it's not going to be a minute. Obviously, you gotta answer why. I asked Charlie these same questions because I could not find his questions. I actually still had your notes and everything on my notepad. So if anybody's catching this podcast, I don't know how they're going to line up. Charlie could be first. Purdy could be first. I'm not sure how they're going to be going out, but I will say this. So don't be upset with me when you hear the same questions, but I guarantee you're going to hear some different answers. All right, so rapid questions. What I'm going to do is going to ask you 10 questions. You just spout out whatever first hits your head, whatever your like is. So number one, you ready, Purdy?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite platform / console? of all time.
Xbox.
All right. Favorite game of all time.
Halo.
Woo! I like it. Go-to snack.
Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, that a boy. See, I did not think that would be out there, but yeah. I mean, that's my go-to movie theater snack. But favorite TV show / movie of all time.
Maybe Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad is a good one. What about movie?
Movie's a hard one.
It is. It's tough. See, and that's why I'm probably cutting out the minute because there's way too much to think about.
Yeah. Maybe Good Will Hunting.
Ooh, a classic. Okay,
Yeah.
see, your generation, these kids nowadays, I'm figuring Interstellar because everyone's on that bandwagon, even though it is my favorite movie of all time. Who do you watch?
I'm a little too old.
Yeah, a little too old. Who do you watch, pro or streamer?
Tiggleton right now.
Tiggleton. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I got that one. I understand that. I understand that reference and answer. Favorite pro team from a traditional sports, not so much esports, but what's your favorite pro team?
I was born and raised in South Florida, and I was more of a football guy. So right now, it would be the Dolphins for sure.
Laces out, Purdy. That's a Ace Ventura reference for all you youngins out there. Yep. Miami Dolphins, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Good old fins up.
I can't say anything. I'm a Lions fan, so it's even worse.
I'm
brother.
safe. I'm safe here. I'm safe.
Cat or dog person?
Dog for sure.
Dog for sure. Yeah. We have. What dogs do you have?
I don't. My girl is more of a cat person.
Okay.
So I got to slowly convince her still to get the dog.
Basset Hound, brother. Basset Hounds are great. We have a Newfie and a Basset Hound. Dream car.
I'm not much of a car guy, to be honest. I'm just not much of a car guy.
But if you had to get one car that you just absolutely even if it's an F-150 truck, brother, what's
F-150 truck? Oh man, when I was when I was a kid, I used to be in love with Nissan Skylines. But
there you go.
That's a pipeline. That's a pipe dream.
Yeah, Skylines were the hotness back in the day.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, they were hot for a day, and then. Yeah, put away. Number 9. Would you rather? Okay, this one's a little bit mind-boggling. We both know Charlie. It took him a little bit to wrap his head around, but I have high hopes for you here. Would you rather be attacked by one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
I gotta go with the duck-sized horses because I'm not a duck person. I don't know. A giant duck sounds terrifying.
That's what I said. And Charlie's like, no, I'm going with the big ass duck. I was like, no, dude, 100 duck-sized horses for sure.
I feel like I can find a tree to get halfway up or something. But the huge duck, I'm out. Yeah, the huge duck, I'm out.
Yeah, those things are mean, man. They're aggressive.
Yeah, they're
number 10. Final question. Anywhere in the world, where are you going, brother?
Home. Just home.
Just home? So home is Southern Florida for you?
Now it's with my girl. I'm in Midwest Kansas. But
what the heck are you doing in Midwest Kansas?
Listen, when you fall in love with a girl, you end up traveling across the country. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah. So just here. I'm not a big traveling guy. I've traveled so much for esports.
Yeah.
To where if I have to look at a plane, I get in a bad mood. So.
Yeah, because I remember when you guys were with Lazarus, you guys went to Sweden.
Yeah.
For what was that? That was the Intel thing. Or no, was it DreamHack?
So many events. It was probably GLL. If I had to guess, there's so many. It's hard to keep track of the timelines these days.
Yeah, no, trust me. I'm getting to the point where I don't know what day of the week it is, so it's fine. But yeah, that was you passed your rapid questions. You won. So there you go. But we're joined here by PurdyKurty, professional PUBG player from TSM FTX. Thank you again, brother, for joining us. Is there anything you want to add? I know you got your socials down here. You're at your Twitch is PurdyKurty. You can catch him. I'm sure streaming whenever possible if he's not busy doing professional things. But also his Twitter is at PurdyKurty. Anything else you want to pitch, brother, or anything you got for us? I know you got events coming up this weekend that will be broadcasted. You were saying, what is that all about?
Yeah, that'd be great if people can tune in. It's ESL PUBG Masters. It's this weekend is the group stage. Friday, Saturdays when we'll be playing. That'll be on twitch.tv/ESL PUBG. So if you want to catch myself and the rest of the TSM boys crush some competition, we'll be live this weekend around 7 p.m. EST, I believe.
Nice. And that's so let's give a shout out to the rest of the boys here. You got Alo, you got yourself, you got Luke, and then Penta.
Yep, Penta, and then Machine Gunner as our coach.
Correct. And you still keep in touch with the boys that used to be on the team?
Yeah. Just yesterday, I played with Uncivil and Adam, who used to be on the team. So.
Yep, Uncivil was a good dude. His mom always was on Twitter too. Always had good conversation with his mom. Uncivil's mom on Twitter. But yeah, brother, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Again, this will be broadcasted on 9 and 10 News and View It. Kind of give you an inside look at what a professional PUBG player's life looks like a little bit and what makes him tick. So, Purdy, thank you again, brother. I really do appreciate it, and I'll get you a copy of this when we get it up and let you know how everything's going, bud.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the time.
No problem.